It's go time.
Ready to go beyond the scores and stats.
I love it.
Good.
Let's bring it in. It's showtime, right?
Welcome to High on Sports.
The whole deal is like some kind of crazy game.
Exclusively on MorningShowCentral.com.
Hello, and welcome to High on Sports. I'm Ralphie, and with me, as always,
Word it up. I am Von Erich.
and that's it today. No Ashley. We decided in honor of Valentine's Day, we give her a spa day, all expenses. Get her hair did, nails, all that.
I love how you didn't say anything after all expenses.
Well, they're not paid; they're just there. But I guess we're doing the same with Nick. So I hope they enjoy. And you may, if you're watching the show right now, you may wonder, why are these two handsome gentlemen in suits? Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no need to wonder that. We just are.
That's not. That's
Enjoy it while
that's
you
not
can.
what the show's about. Because we're gentlemen, and it's basically
We
Valentine's
deserve
Day.
to
It's
be
tomorrow.
treated as such.
Exactly.
Prostitutes after the show.
We're like, well, you dress up for prostitutes. That's what you do. You gotta treat them right. You ever seen Pretty Woman? You ever want one of those? You gotta wear a suit. Mm-hmm. That's how that works.
That's why I make the inside of my car smell like cocoa butter, so they'll feel welcome.
Cocoa butter. All right. Well, anyways, we are going to talk about sports tonight, at least a little bit if we get to it. Maybe we'll just dabble. But remember, if you're watching the show on MSC, which you probably are, to the right of the viewer is a place to log into a chat room. It asks for a password. You don't need to put one. Just put your name, hit enter, and you're immediately logged in, talking to myself, Von Erich, and whoever else may be in there right now. And remember, as always, you can call the show toll free, 1-888-668-0742. And remember, you can email your questions or comments to shows@morningshowcentral.com, and we'll read them live on the air if they're good enough. So you might want to put a name, maybe you can get credit. Who knows? Maybe someday we'll refer to you as friend of the show. That's a distinct honor, and you really have to earn it. So get emailing now. All right, well, let's get right into things here because we've got a jam-packed show for you tonight. First show of the non-football season.
Yes,
So,
it really is.
To replace that, there's going to be a 45-minute period where we're just silent. So, that's all we can come up with. But aside from that, we do have a lot of stuff to get to. So let's start things off right now. Round one, let's go. There's no ring girl or anything tonight.
So I'll just stick up a finger.
Exactly. One, we're sticking up a single finger if you're listening to the podcast.
Yeah. And not the middle one, of course.
No,
Yeah,
just the.
I went to the picture and there's
pointer.
nothing there.
I couldn't find it. I checked earlier and I was like, this is too hard. But we'll see if we can find the twins for round two. But anyways, there's an obvious place to start this show. Wow, I mean, this started technically last weekend, so we've been on the air since it started. But of course, I'm talking about Linsanity, for lack of a better term, and it really is lack of a better term because I hate the term Linsanity because it just kind of shows how lazy as the media we are. Because there was Vinsanity with Vince Carter.
Of course.
And now some other guy with IN in his name shows up, and we're just like, have we used Insanity yet? I don't remember. Linsanity, woo! And it's the same. It's the same thinking when the Miami got Bosch, Wade, and James, and everybody was like, they're the big three. It's like, didn't Boston just have the big three? This one's in a warmer climate, so it's different.
Short-term memory for all the sports writers.
There's only so many words in existence, Sometimes you have to reuse them. Vinsanity, Linsanity. No, what I love about it, he's got the perfect name, really, with the last name Lin. Jeremy Lin, of course, we're talking about point guard for the Knicks. Because he's got about 1,000,000,001 different things he's been called, even in passing. Yeah, Linner, chicken dinner. All I do is Lin. Lin, baby, Lin. There's so many. Lincredible Hulk is a longer version of that one. Super Nintendo, I heard today. But I think that's just because he's Asian. Wow. There's so many of them. It's ridiculous. But I guess that's the burden you have with such a convenient last name. But anyways, we didn't talk about him on the show last week. Because last week, all it was some random guy on the Knicks scored 20 points off the bench. And it was just, whatever.
That kind of thing happens on a weekly basis.
Exactly.
Or just some random guy on any given team.
Now, what we didn't know would happen is that would continue, and it would drive the nation in a frenzy. If you don't know, it's 5 straight games now. He's scored at least 20 points, and 5 straight games the Knicks have won. And that is, of course, against the Nets, Jazz, Wizards, Lakers, Timberwolves. And I mean, it's ridiculous. 25, 28, 23, 38, 20 points. And it should be pointed out he actually even had a double-double against Washington with 23 points, 10 assists. Although I watched some of that game, Washington just seemed to just let him go. Like every time he got near the basket, Washington was like, "We don't care. We're the worst team in basketball, maybe ever. They just stood and watched. They're like, this will be fun to see. This will be some impressive stuff." But I mean, if you don't know the story, and it's impossible at this point, Carmelo Anthony went down against the Nets. So, understaffed, undermanned. They turned to their fourth string point guard, said, "Screw it, go in." And that's the game where he dropped 25 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. And they were suddenly like, we might have something here, considering we have no point guard whatsoever, except for Baron Davis, who's, the Cavs amnestied him because his back is essentially broken. And it's obviously still hasn't healed. He's still wearing a suit to the Knicks games, much like us. But Linsanity, Jeremy, I almost called him Vince Lynn. That's why Linsanity is too confusing. Linsanity, anyways, gets a start against Utah and then Washington, Los Angeles, Minnesota, and he's been essentially unstoppable ever since. And it's been getting almost out of control. There's an app. There is a Jeremy Lin app. I just downloaded it yesterday. It's on the Android marketplace. Just search Jeremy Lin. It's the Jeremy Lin fan app, and it's a direct link to his Facebook, his Twitter, video highlights of him in action, downloadable images to save to your phone, and of course the latest news about Jeremy Lin and his Wikipedia page. So it's almost like you're stalking him, but I mean, I guess that's okay nowadays. And it's drawing a lot of comparisons, obviously, to Tebowmania. Maybe you remember that vaguely.
Yeah, just a little bit.
That the Tebow guy, obviously whipped the nation into a frenzy. And I think the only thing about this is it's kind of more disappointing with Linsanity, because Linsanity, you just know how it's going to end. Tebow, the whole time, we were all like, logically speaking, this should be done soon, but it just wasn't. I mean, when they backed into the playoffs, you're like, okay, Denver Broncos at 8-8, taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is pretty much done. You had a good run, Timmy, but it's over. And of course, as we know, with that 80-yard touchdown pass in overtime, it certainly was not done. It was done the next week in New England when they were massacred. What was it, like 45-10 or something?
Oh, it was brutal.
That hurt to watch. But anyways, the thing that sucks about Jeremy Lin is he's doing so great right now. People are going to the games with signs that say "Lin, legend in New York." I saw a kid with a Jeremy Lin mask. I saw a kid with a Jeremy Lin mask, rubber banded to his face. I don't know what to make of that. I don't know, but I mean, this Jeremy Lin, it's driving New York crazy. It's giving the Knicks something to cheer about for the first time in, God, since Willis Reed was there. That was, the 80s or something? I don't even remember. I mean, they haven't had a true point guard in so long. And they even bring in Carmelo. They sign Amari Stoudemire, trade for Carmelo Anthony. Suddenly it's like, oh, Knicks are back. Knicks are back. They got Melo and Amari. And then you see they're not back at all.
Even Dwight Howard was asking to go to the Knicks.
Nah, I think he's kind of changed his mind about that one.
Well, yeah, he changes his mind every week, though.
Did you hear, though, it just a report came out, I think it was like last weekend, why Dwight Howard, actually, the Lakers are not reportedly on his list anymore, of this mythical list of places he's willing to sign an extension to, i.e. the only places you're allowed to trade him to in today's NBA. But apparently, Kobe Bryant tried recruiting him during the offseason and stuff, because, the players can still talk. You just can't talk to, like, owners or coaches or anything because of the lockout. But anyway, so Kobe Bryant's talking to Dwight Howard, and he suggested to Dwight Howard that, now this is supposedly a quote from Kobe Bryant, is that you come to Los Angeles, you help me win 2 more championships, and then I retire. So, because he wants to be one ahead of Michael Jordan. So he's like, he ends his career with 7 rings, and he calls it a day. And he's like, and then Los Angeles is yours. You are the king of Los Angeles and essentially the king of the NBA. You own the Lakers, basically. But until then, I want you to be the third scoring option behind myself and Pau Gasol, sort of like a Tyson Chandler, if you will, in Dallas.
What a great comparison.
Are you kidding me? Come be my Tyson Chandler. That's Tyson Chandler wouldn't agree to that. I mean, well, and then here's another. Tyson Chandler's seeing like ridiculous numbers now, thanks to Jeremy Lin. And a lot of people think this Jeremy Lin thing could continue even with Amari coming back. Amari's coming back Tuesday. So Amari Stoudemire comes in. It's just like another big man weapon for Jeremy Lin to hit these guys off the pick and roll and stuff and keep it going. They're going to be even better with Amari. Now, the problem, what happens when Melo comes back? Carmelo Anthony is probably the second biggest ball hog in this entire game, behind, of course, Kobe Bryant. But Kobe Bryant has to do that, especially now with Mike Brown. You know, when it was Phil Jackson, they had the triangle offense, which was like the most innovative offensive scheme ever. There's always room for everyone to take a shot. Kobe still took most of them, but you know there was one of the greatest offensive systems in the history of the game. Now it's Mike Brown, which I'm sure you remember Mike Brown with the Cavs. It was defense, defense, and then just ask LeBron. When it comes to the offensive side, it was like, see what LeBron wants to do, and then we'll do that. And that's essentially how he's running the Lakers right now. It's just like, we're going to play defense, we're going to stop them from scoring, and then when we get the ball, just kind of see how Kobe feels. See what he feels like doing, and that's why Kobe's taking more shots on average right now than he has in any season, and why he's going to be worn down and essentially dead by the time the playoffs come. But anyways, the idea is there's only, and it's always been a problem in New York for the last 2 seasons, is there's only so many touches, you know? There's only so many times you're going to be able to get the ball, and Carmelo Anthony's going to take a vast majority of those. So a lot of people are thinking Linsanity will die when Carmelo Anthony gets back. Well, not the guy will die, but the movement. Maybe he'll die. I don't know. I can't predict the future, but you know he might die. But anyways, the movement, yes, will die when Carmelo Anthony gets back in here and just becomes that black hole sticky fingers that he is with the basketball. But I think another comparison to Tebowmania it's getting is the underdog story. Because that's what we love as America.
Oh, yeah.
We love the underdog story.
Sure.
I think the only thing America likes more than the underdog story is tearing someone down when they've reached the top. You know, like LeBron James or something, which obviously warranted it. But, yes. I mean, they love watching the athletes fall. But the second favorite thing of America is watching these guys come out of nowhere and rise. And Lin totally has come out of nowhere. Like I said, he was the 4th string point guard, all right? And that game against the Nets was almost certainly going to be his last game. It was Saturday. The next day, contracts become guaranteed. You know, as far as like if you sign the league minimum, your contract isn't fully guaranteed until a certain date. It's why you can cut a player before that and not have to pay them the rest of that contract.
Yes.
Like the Cavaliers did this year with Michael Thompson, the shooting guard. They ended up cutting him as their shooting guards got healthy again because they know, you know, we're going to save money this way. But the thing is, Jeremy Lin was going to get cut. He was about 2 days from being unemployed. And because of that, I'm assuming it's changed now, but at the time he slept on his brother's couch in his brother's living room. Didn't even have his own place. All right, a Harvard graduate. And he didn't even have his own place because there was no guarantee. And it's so funny to think how quickly things changed. And you almost feel like New York fans are maybe going to start turning against Melo because Melo coming back might be the end of Linsanity. And if it weren't for Melo getting injured, Jeremy Lin doesn't even see a minute of playing time in that game and gets cut. I mean, it's like the Yankees fans consider, what was it, Aaron Boone, I believe, was playing for them at the time, and he went down with an ankle injury, and it caused them to go get A-Rod. And I think it was Aaron, it was one of the Boones. But a lot of fans regarded it as like the best ankle injury in franchise history. Because if it weren't for them, they wouldn't have A-Rod. And it's basically a similar situation. Thank God Carmelo Anthony got hurt, or else we don't find Jeremy Lin. But a lot of people have been asking bigger underdog story, Jeremy Lin or Tim Tebow. And I think that's a ridiculous question.
It really is.
SportsCenter even like posted it on Facebook or something the other night. Bigger underdog, Jeremy Lin or Tim Tebow. It's not even, you can't even compare the two.
No, it's not even close at all.
I mean, Tim Tebow gets that sort of Tebow skewed view on everything he does, where we don't look at it as a normal person doing it. We look at it as Tim Tebow doing it. Tim Tebow, who's always being hated on and somehow comes back to save the day or whatever. But if you look at it on paper, Tim Tebow is a 2-time national champion, Heisman winner, first-round draft pick. When you hear he led his team to the playoffs in his second year, you think, all right, that's feasible. I could see that happening.
Yes.
This is like a 2-time national champion, Heisman winner, first-round draft pick. It makes sense. But then you add in the fact that it's Tim Tebow and he doesn't know how to throw a ball, and suddenly it's like, oh, my God, he's great and he loves Jesus. But Jeremy Lin is in his second year because he bounced around from, I think, 2 different teams and D-Leagues last year. And at one point was actually going to join the Houston Rockets D-League this year before they decided, no, we don't want you last minute. They decided he wasn't good enough for their D-League. And now he's doing this in New York. And I mean, he was a walk-on at Harvard, which, Harvard not generally known for its athletes anyways. But the fact that he couldn't even get an athletic scholarship to Harvard, who has some of the worst athletics in all of sports, and he comes in there, plays point guard in Harvard, thinks he's going to get drafted. People predict him going in the second round. Doesn't even get drafted.
Nope.
Manages to wind up with his hometown team, the Golden State Warriors. Of course, gets sent down to the D-League there and eventually cut. I mean, this dude's been cut more times than you can count. And now, all of a sudden, he went instantly from 4th-string, no-time bench player to sensation. I mean, this is overnight. The media has dubbed this guy as the new superstar. He's like a LeBron. He's a Dwayne Wade. He's a Dwight Howard in 5 games. And they've decided that he's on this level. And I mean, only 4 starts. He's actually has the most points ever of anyone in their first 4 career starts with his totals of 28, 23, 38, 20. I mean, better than Michael Jordan, better than Larry Bird, better than Magic Johnson. And this kid, it's insane because you don't expect it to last, but you didn't expect Tebowmania to last.
And that's still going.
And it really is. It's still going today. I remember when after this season ended, excuse me, after this season ended, the John Elway, is like president of the Broncos now. I remember he came out and announced Tim Tebow will be our starter going into training camp. And everybody's like, going into training camp? He didn't say the full season. He just said going into it. Oh my God. And suddenly it was more fuel to be like, why would he support him? It's like, what's he supposed to do? He's going to be my starter for the next 10 years. You can't say that. You don't even say that with Tom Brady. It's implied with Tom Brady, but you don't say it.
No.
It's starter going into training camp. That's good enough. He didn't even get that last year.
Even if it came down to Tom Brady, someone, the GM over at New England, saying that about him, saying, "Oh, Tom Brady for sure is the starter going into camp." No one would think twice about it.
No. Now that I think about that whole 10 years comment, Brady will probably be retired in 10 years, so there goes that point. He'll be in his 40s. But, I mean, either way, it's like with what I think is different and better about the Tebowmania. Tebowmania, there were so many arguments on either side, and both sides were really irrational. The one side's like, he should play tight end. He's never going to win, ever. And the other side's like, he's going to win every Super Bowl for the rest of time. There was no middle ground with Tebowmania. I mean, very few people, I like to think I was in the middle ground, but I mean, very few people were like, let's just see what this kid can do, It's entertaining. He keeps winning in unfathomable ways. Let's just see what he does. But nobody else, very few people felt that way about him. But Jeremy Lin, it's just such a better, happier story because nobody's like, he's failing. He's going to fail. Clearly, he's not good enough. These points are flukes. I don't know.
5 straight games.
5 straight games in the 20s. Accident. I mean, well, there was another guy. There was another guy like that. This is an old guy. I'm blanking on his name. It's like, I don't even remember. Billy something. It was something with a B. Beta. I don't even know because the dude was such a blip on the radar. But this guy came in and put up and was a similar situation where for 4 games he sort of came out of nowhere. In 4 games he scored, I think, 93 points or 99 points or something like that, and then just fell off the face of the earth. And it's like, you really hope that doesn't happen, because Jeremy Lin is really someone we can all root for. There's no reason to hate him unless you're like a Celtics fan or something, and you don't want, aside from not wanting the Knicks to succeed, there's no reason not to root for this kid. This is just a good kid who tried, let's be honest, harder than all of us, and is living his dreams. You know, it's like, let's just be happy for him. And that's why I like Linsanity better than Tebowmania. Super Nintendo, I should say. That's why I like Super Nintendo better than Tebowmania. By the way, fun fact, I told you this on the show, but to you folks at home, did you know, take this for what it's worth, which is nothing, Jeremy Lin is the first ever American-born player of Chinese or Taiwanese descent.
Something to be proud of.
Why not? I mean, there's been plenty of Chinese, Yao Ming, and, you know, others, Yi Jianlian, who, when I went to the Cavs game last weekend, there were so many Chinese Americans, we'll say. There were so many Chinese Americans there, or just regular Chinese. I don't know. And when they're in the warm-ups, they show Yi Jianlian's picture on that screen with the Mavericks. The place went nuts. And then Yi Jianlian did not see 1 minute of playtime.
Ouch.
He did not get on the court for a second in a loss to the Cavaliers. Go Cavs. But, I mean, I find that weird that there's been all these Chinese and Taiwanese players and stuff. It's the first one that was ever born in America. So,
yeah, he's seeing more than 1 minute of play, that's for sure.
yeah, I mean, well, take it for what it's worth, which I think is nothing. But congrats to the first ever American-born player of Chinese descent, whatever. Anyways, that's enough Linsanity for now. I'm sure in time he's just going to become like Tebow, where he's just going to basically take over the show. But
it will happen. I guarantee it.
And someplace Linsanity will not be going is the All-Star game.
Oh, why not?
He started doing good just a little too late, unfortunately. But now the All-Star players, we already talked about them last week. You know, what was it? Four of the starting 5 in the West are from Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. You know, 2 Clippers, 2 Lakers, which, good work for the Clippers. Who would have ever told you? I mean, like, who would have ever believed if someone told you someday the Clippers will have 2 starting players in the All-Star game? I would never believe it, but that's one of the effects of the 2012. It's the end of the world, so, you know, everything's happening.
All those years, almost, if I'm not mistaken, over 15 years in a row, they got a lottery pick.
Yeah.
Never got anything for it.
You know, the franchise has been around over 40 years. It actually started the same year as the Cavs did, as the Baltimore Braves, before moving to San Diego, and they were the San Diego Braves, and then the San Diego Clippers, and then the LA Clippers. In that whole time, I forget exactly how long the Cavs been here. So they just celebrated the 40th like 2-3 years ago. It's been looking at, what, like 42, 43 years, something like that. In all of that time, the Clippers have had, and I'm not joking here, 6 winning seasons. 6. You want to talk about how rough we have it as a Browns fan or as an Indians fan in the last few years? Try 40-plus years with 6 winning seasons. Only 2 since coming to Los Angeles. That is, hands down, the worst franchise, I'm going to say, in the history of all sports ever.
It has to be.
Whether it's
really
professional or just a after-work flag football team, this is the most disappointing franchise. And it's just, it's weird to root for a team from LA, from someone in my perspective as a bitter Cleveland fan, because LA's always winning and stuff, you know, in like so many things. But go Clippers.
Yeah.
You know, nice to see these guys finally doing something. Maybe they'll make the
it makes you feel a little better about yourself to know if the Clippers can win a little bit. Maybe we can too.
If the Clippers can win an NBA championship, I personally can win an NBA championship. That's how I feel. They've actually, think about this, they've only had 6 more winning seasons than I have. Huh?
Yeah,
Think
only
about
2
that
since
one.
moving to Los Angeles. All you need to do is move to Los Angeles and have 2 winning
Exactly.
seasons.
They've only had 2 more winning seasons than I have in Los Angeles. Think about that. But anyways, the All-Star reserves were announced this weekend. I'm going to let you know right now, really, really disappointed. There's no Cavaliers on this list. And I thought there was 2 and at least 1 that definitely should be there. You probably know who I'm talking about, but we'll run through who made it first. In the West, from the Portland Trailblazers, good for them, finally getting some representation. LaMarcus Aldridge in his first career All-Star game. Marc Gasol, center for the Memphis Grizzlies, brother to Pau Gasol. By the way, the Grizzlies played the Jazz last night, and they wore a throwback. And the Grizzlies really don't have much to throw back to because they were just in Vancouver a few years ago. So they threw back. They had a throwback from the first pro basketball team in Memphis is an ABA team called the Memphis Tams. And what a TAM is Tennessee, Arkansas, I think Missouri or Mississippi. I'm not looking at a map right now. Anyways, it's the 3 states that would be like the fans. Mississippi, thank you. It's the 3 states that would be the fans of the Tams. Well, they also found out that when they made the team, they figured out that a tam is also a nickname for a traditional Scottish beanie called, I think it's like a tam shackle or something really weird like that. Excuse me, something really Scottish. Anyway, so it's kind of like the old school ones you'd imagine a golfer wearing with like the little beanie and then the little poof on top.
Oh, yeah.
And it would be the whole thing was like colored in green and yellow alternating stripes.
With the white poof on top.
Yeah, and they came out wearing them for the pregame
with the
warm-ups.
Poofs?
With the poofs on top.
Oh, no.
To start the game last night, the commentators were wearing them, fans were wearing them, and it was just like, thank God they're called the Grizzlies. Even though I'm not even sure if there's actually grizzlies in the woods of Tennessee. I don't care. I mean, the Tams. So the ABA was a weird place. Really weird. The Globetrotters, that name, I mean, they're great, but that name doesn't even make sense back when they made it, because they were just trotting Harlem, which was hardly the Globe. But anyways, I keep getting sidetracked, but Kevin Love should be the starter.
He really should
for
be.
Crying out loud. And
Who's
that's
starting over him? Gasol?
No, starting over him is Pau Gasol didn't make it. His little brother did, but he didn't. No, starting ahead of him is Blake Griffin, starting at power forward for the West.
Who's the other starter for the Lakers then?
The Andrew Bynum at center.
All right.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty dumb too. But anyways, yeah, I mean, okay, listen, all right. Blake Griffin's exciting. He's funny. He does Kia commercials. He dunks over things. That's fine. But Kevin Love last season had more triple-doubles in a season, double-doubles, than anyone to ever play the game. The dude is good for like 15 rebounds automatically. Had a 30-20 night the other night. Last season had that 30-30 game. 30 points, 30 rebounds.
And that's just ridiculous.
The guy is the best power forward in all of basketball. But all he's looked at, and this is why I hate the fan voting, is because you get things like Dwayne Wade is starting at shooting guard, the guy who's missed almost half the season. Freaking Carmelo Anthony is going to be playing power forward. Carmelo Anthony is not even a power forward. And he's going to be starting because they have it broken down where just vote on a forward, and it came to LeBron and Carmelo. Neither one's a power forward.
No, they're not.
But Carmelo Anthony, as skinny as he is going to play power forward. But, I mean, and it's because of where they're from. New York, Los Angeles, Miami, all those places. And Kevin Love's from Minnesota. That's all you need to know.
He's not going to get voted in.
Kevin Love is the best. Kevin Love is probably already the second best Timberwolf in the history of that entire franchise. He hasn't passed up Kevin Garnett yet. But, I mean, honestly, at his rate, give it time, and he will. Steve Nash making it again. No matter what kind of season Steve Nash is having, nice to see him at least get a reserve spot. This might be one of his last. Dirk Nowitzki, there's another one where I love Dirk, but, I mean, he's missed a lot of time, and the time he has played, he hasn't been that good. But this one's coaches voting on it, so this is coaches getting the wrong call. Tony Parker? I haven't heard much about him at all this year.
Yeah, I didn't know he was still relevant.
I guess so. Russell Westbrook. That one makes sense. All right, and then we come over to the East. Chris Bosh, because you're legally obligated to vote Chris Bosh, because Miami has to have 3 players in the All-Star game. Luol Deng from Chicago. Roy Hibbert taking that backup center spot. He has been having a damn good year, Roy Hibbert. And the Cavs will play him Wednesday with his Pacers. Andre Iguodala, not necessarily having an all-star season in his own rights, but kind of a representation, some acknowledgement towards what the 76ers are doing as a whole this year. They kind of remind me of those '04 Pistons, how Detroit won the whole NBA Finals, but they did it without a superstar. It was just a team of guys that played defense.
Yeah, it was just
and
a bunch of
operated
randoms
well.
when they did win.
And that's why Iggy's there. Joe Johnson also, Paul Pierce makes sense, Darren Williams too. We're going to break now, but I just got to say this. Anderson Varejao should be starting. I mean, it's a moot point because he broke his wrist. But he should be the starting power forward for the All-Star game. So, I mean, missed call there, but that's what happens when fans vote. They don't know crap about this city. But we're going to take a quick break here, and when we get back, we're going to talk about what's urinating us off. We've got our first mock draft of the year. We'll see what some of the experts think the Browns will be doing. All that and so much more. You're listening to High on Sports on the MSC Radio Network.
Oh, wow. Language.
Okay, he was PMSing.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network. If you live the lifestyle, then you should arrive in style. Lifestyle Limousine Service. Whether it's dinner for two, an evening at the winery, or a night out on the town, Lifestyle Limousine provides extraordinary service. Check them out on the web, lifestylelimousineservice.com. Reserve your ride now. 330-903-0508. 330-903-0508. Lifestyle Limousine Service. And make sure you tell them Morning Show Central Radio Network sent you. Call the show toll free. 1-888-668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on morningshowcentral.com. Check out Uncensored Net Noise every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here. Uncensored Net Noise on morningshowcentral.com. Hey, Unsigned Bands.
You are jam-packed.
Hey, Unsigned Bands. Want your music heard? Yeah! Shoot us an email with the name of the band and the MP3 of the song. Send it to show@morningshowcentral.com. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on morningshowcentral.com. Cocaine Energy Supplement. Due to great consumer demand, Redux Beverages has officially announced the return of its world-famous Cocaine Energy Supplement. It's now available at retail locations across the country, as well as online at reduxdirect.com. That's reduxdirect.com. Don't forget to be part of the all-new Cocaine Energy Supplement social network, where you can meet other Cocaine Energy Supplement fans from around the world. Cocaine Energy Supplement. You can become a member. By logging on to lovecocaine.com. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right.
Rise above the clutter, brand your identity, and make a statement. Broken Fan Media. Expert video production, television and web commercials, music video, real estate tours, live concerts and events, state-of-the-art post-production, video and audio editing. Check us out on the web at brokenfanmedia.com. 434-944-0472. Broken Fan Media. The next generation of sight and sound.
If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningshowCentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to GuitarCenter.com.
MSC Radio Network has just tweeted the following. This bowel movement won't come out.
Check us out on Twitter at twitter.com/MSC Radio Network. What do you about the Sunday Hangover Show. The name says it all.
Leave it alone, man.
The Sunday Hangover Show. Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. on morningshowcentral.com.
You're listening to MSC Radio Network, and like anything else on the internet, it runs on computers. Lots of computers. And you know, when you're dealing with computers, hard drives sometimes crash. That happened here at MSC, and you know what saved them? Rectified backup software. Don't believe us? Well, ask yourself this question. Are you backed up? Probably not. So don't be that guy and wait till it's too late. MSC did their research and tried tons of different backup programs and chose Rectified backup software. You know, peace of mind is priceless, and Rectify can give you and your computer system that peace of mind. Find out more at rectify.com. That's rectiphy.com.
Around the Corner, voted best place to get wings and best outdoor patio, is the place for you and your friends if you like great live music, awesome pub food, or if you want to just kick back with friends on the enclosed seated patio. This neighborhood favorite hosts cornhole tournaments, crab races, and has tons of TVs to watch your favorite sports teams. Around the Corner, located at 18616 Detroit Avenue, Lakewood, Ohio. Hey, want to guest bartend and raise money for a charity, organization, fundraiser, or your sports team? Call Ryan at 216-521-4413. That's 216-521-4413. The people have spoken. Get down to ATC and let the fun begin.
Check out Uncensored Net Noise every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here. Uncensored Net Noise on morningshowcentral.com.
Hey, it's Big Daddy from The Marty Allen Show. Catch the replay of The Marty Allen Show every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern right here on MSC. Now, my show airs Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3 p.m. and Saturdays at 2 at martyallenshow.com. But you can catch the best of The Marty Allen Show every Thursday at 7 p.m. right here on Morning Show Central. So if you want all the latest sports news, entertainment news, and everything else that's going on in the world, then tune into my show live at martyallenshow.com and the best of the replays right here at morningshowcentral.com. Get MSC and get cooking, baby.
What do you need to know about the Sunday Hangover Show? The name says it all.
Leave it alone, man.
The Sunday Hangover Show. Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. on morningshowcentral.com. Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits. A 99.5% uptime guarantee and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now.
Coming at you from the rock and roll capital, it's an exciting and fast-paced global forum
With the man who knows how to help get your band even better.
Yeah! Doc Rock tackles industry issues with informed guests
And invites your questions, concerns, and tales of band life.
There's never a dull moment in Doc's world of showbiz.
He cares about artist issues and escalating your talents.
So make an appointment with Doc Rock on Band-Aid.
Thank you!
Tuesday night, starting at 9:05.
Only on morningshowcentral.com.
Project X Show.
Project X Show.
Driven by porn. Every Tuesday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern.
Right here on Morning Show Central Radio Network.
Project X Show.
Live on morningshowcentral.com.
From the Cocaine Energy Supplement Studio, you're listening
to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
Hello, and welcome back to High on Sports. I'm Ralphie, and with me, as always,
Word it up. I am Von Erich.
and thank you so much for joining in. Again, no Ashley, Valentine's Day. She's our collective Valentine, so we give her spa day, all expenses.
And we sent Nick with her. Right now, they're probably enjoying a nice couples massage.
Yeah, Nick's getting a massage, and he's going to get a pedicure.
Yuck.
Pedicure. And all that fun stuff. And remember, you can call the show toll-free, 1-888-668-0742, and email your questions or comments to shows with an S at morningshowcentral.com. And if you're watching the show on MST, which you probably are, you'll notice to the right of the viewer is a place to sign into a chat room and ask for a password. Don't need to put one. Hit a name, hit enter. You're immediately logged in, talking to myself, Von Erich, and whoever else is tuning in, whatever. So good fun. Good fun there.
Chatters.
Hello there, you guys. And again, we're wearing suits because we are. Because we're gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
This is
That's
a
exactly correct.
gentlemanly profession that we are in. So we decided to dress the part. This is our new uniform code for High on Sports.
Yeah. All
It's
I'm
not.
missing is a cigar and a handgun.
Exactly. And I just so you all know at home, I haven't totally sold into the man. I'm rocking my tennis shoes, so still got my freedom and stuff. You don't. You've given up.
No, I'm.
That necktie will soon be your noose.
I'm rocking my Armani shoes.
Oh.
They can't see on the camera, of course.
I got a Louis Vuitton tie. That's not a thing. Anyways,
I have a Michael Scott tie.
Anyways, let's continue on here. This is round 2. Let's go. No ring girl, because I forgot again. I was supposed to, and I even came over to do it, and then I just got distracted. But it is round 2. It is. For those of you at home that don't know, that's why we held up 2 fingers this time.
Yes.
For those of you listening to the replay with no video. But let's get right into things here. It is time for a mainstay of High on Sports, and that is, of course, our long-running segment, What's Urinating Us Off? It used to be done when High on Sports was in black and white, and then eventually, got to be the one in color, which is funny because that camera shows us in black and white. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is it's time for What's Urinating Us Off, and we're going to start as we always do with my good buddy Von Erich. Von Erich, what's urinating you off this week?
Well, I had a few things to pick from this week. A lot of stuff happened in the world of sports this week, even though there was no more football.
Yep.
But I'm going to go back to the world of football, where Randy Moss just announced that he's going to play in 2012 after taking a year off for his retirement. Now, as you may or may not remember, Randy Moss retired right before the beginning of the last NFL season, right after they came back from their strike, and it was kind of like with no hubbub, no controversy surrounding it. He just released a statement through his agent that said he's done. He's not playing anymore.
Wasn't he like a press conference or anything?
No,
He was at one point considered to give Jerry Rice a run for his money. Like, this dude could be the greatest. And now it was just like, done, peace.
And he has come out this week, today actually, which happens to be his birthday.
Happy birthday, Randy Moss.
Because we know you're listening.
Oh, he is.
And,
big fan of the show.
He came out with a statement saying it's time to get back to business, and he wants to play again. He just turned 35, so he probably has a little bit of gas left in the tank.
Maybe a catch or two.
Yeah, and but one of the places that he may be headed to is back to New England with Tom Brady, who has come out and said that he would welcome Moss back to New England.
That's because Tom Brady's pro. I mean, he's not, and you've seen players do this before in the NFL. Come out and say, like, no. They asked Carson Palmer when he went to the Raiders, do you want T.O.? And he's like, no, thanks. No, don't really want him. I mean, but Tom Brady's going to basically say that about anybody. Almost anyone. You want 2-time arrestee Tank Johnson? Sure, he's a good talent. In reality, no. I don't know if he wants Moss. But then again, there was this Super Bowl, with the 3 massive drops. Hernandez, Welker, Branch. 3 drops that really, let's be honest, lost in the Super Bowl. So who knows? I think what they need to do, though, is not worry about going to sign a guy like this. They have 4 picks in the first 2 rounds of the draft. The Patriots do. 2 in the first, 2 in the second. They need to go after receivers and cornerbacks or package those for deals to get guys who are good right now. Like, I think what would be incredibly interesting is if they went out and traded one or both of those, or like maybe a first and a second or something, to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for Deshaun Jackson if they do end up franchise tagging him. That would be pretty exciting. Imagine him with a guy in his prime like that. He's never had a guy like that. All the guys he gets, that are like really super talented, like a Randy Moss, like a Ocho Cinco was supposed to be. Which, by the way, 4th of July this year, he's going back to Chad Johnson. So, who cares? But anyways.
Nobody. Nobody at all.
Not even him. Not even his wife or kids who have to change their names. But anyways, but he's never had a guy like a Deshaun Jackson, you know? He gets Randy Moss when he's getting, Randy Moss has really had a year left of productivity before he just disappeared. So, I mean, it'd be exciting to see him get a guy who's like in early mid-20s, ready to go right now, arguably one of, if not the best wide receivers in the NFL at this moment. I think Deshaun Jackson, but I give him high praise.
Yeah, but with a guy like Tom Brady throwing to a Deshaun Jackson, would he have the ability to even break Moss's record with Brady, where it was a single-season record, 23 touchdowns back in 2007?
Oh, I think he could, because Tom Brady, most of his career, as far as his receiving staff goes, has been working with garbage and making them look gold. Mm-hmm. Look at Deion Branch after he left the Patriots and went to Seattle. The only thing he had was
embarrassing.
That was pretty bad, and the only way he could save himself was by begging to go back to the Patriots. And I'm actually like, sure. Because Tom Brady takes your crap and he makes it into wonderful things. He's like MacGyver, It's like you give me all these junk receivers. You give me a guy who's like, what, 6 foot maybe, all right, little white midget from Texas Tech, Wes Welker. I'll make him my number one receiver. And basically, stats-wise, outperform every receiver in the NFL. I mean, that's what he does. He takes this crap that's crap and makes it into Pro Bowlers. It's insane. But with this Randy Moss thing, what gets me about it, and it's kind of the same thing about T.O. not being retired yet. It's like with guys, when they reach this age, it's not necessarily up to you if you're unretired. Mm-hmm. Aside from the fact that I think this generation doesn't know what retired means anymore. I think Brett Favre tainted that word forever because of all the times he retired.
Yeah, you're never going to know.
It's like retired just means taking a year to kick back.
Both him and Roger Clemens, and it's been ruined in the past decade.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and even Manny Ramirez, Man Ram wants to come back,
And I speculate the same thing that happened with Man Ram is happening with Randy Moss.
Do you think performance-enhancing drugs?
I'm not going to say that. We can only speculate. But
well, let's speculate.
Let's speculate. Well, Man Ram, of course, it's well known. He failed a performance-enhancing drug test and was going to be suspended for 100 games. And he takes the year off, decides he's retired, and then comes back in the offseason saying, you know what, I think I'm going to play next year. And then baseball just says, you know what, we'll just wipe our hands of it. If those 100 games that you would have missed would have been last year, so come on back, and welcomes him back with open arms.
Now, the A's were looking at him. A little side note, the A's were a team that was really like the only team I heard showed interest at all in Man Ram. But they actually just today finalized a 4-year deal with, oh, crap, I shouldn't try to pronounce this.
Cespedes?
Yeah, Yoenis Cespedes.
Cespedes?
This crazy Cuban guy who just became a free agent, big-time power hitter. So we'll see what happens with that. So you got to imagine it, a real power-hitting outfielder. They just signed a young one. They're not going to go after the old one, I don't think, now. But who knows? Maybe he's got a future as a DH. That Billy Bean, a.k.a. Brad Pitt, he's a wily guy. He'll come up with something. They're actually on the verge of, by the way, extending his contract all the way to 2019. So, we'll see how that goes.
That's Bud Selig type years.
Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, it is. But this Randy Moss thing, like I said before, about like it's really up to the teams if you're retired or not at this point. Yeah. It makes me think of T.O.
Yeah, because when T.O. did those workouts and all that, saying that he was ready, no team showed up.
You know what I love is Stephen A. Smith. Well, I love Stephen A. Smith. I love and I hate him. He's a guy on ESPN, and he does some radio stuff too and everything. He's an arguer. He's just a natural arguer. He'll argue with you about something, whether he believes in it or not, just to argue, and it's why I love him and hate him. I hate him when he's arguing a side I don't agree with because he's bringing up good points and stuff. But then when it's a side I do agree with, I'm like, that's my man. That's my boy Stephen A. But there's certain athletes where he'll just sort of go along with it, and T.O.'s one of them. Because I saw something, this was about a month or two ago, where he sits down with Terrell Owens. Well, it was more than that. It was before the playoffs started. He sits down with Terrell Owens, and it's Terrell Owens and his family. And he says, now you asked specifically for me to come and interview you, T.O., so I want to know, what is this all about? He says, well, I have an announcement to make. after all these long seasons, I don't remember what he's played, like 13 seasons or something. After all the, like 13, 14 years, whatever, I've decided to announce my retirement. And Stephen A's like, wow, you really? And he's like, yeah. You know what else? What? I wish today was April 1st. What do you mean? Because I'm just playing with you, man. I'm not retired. This was all a joke. And it was like, what? Is it? Aren't you kind of retired? And what a stupid thing to do.
Joke.
Yeah, your existence is a joke, dude. I'm not retired. It was a joke.
He was hoping somebody was laughing at it.
I mean, you're so stupid. It's one thing for like someone in the prime of their career right now. Like if Tom Brady came out and said, "I'm done," just kidding, we'd all be like,
"Wow,
that was
why
stupid."
Did he do that?
Like that was stupid, but you had me there for a second. T.O. when he said, "I'm retired," we're all like, "You weren't already?" What? And then he's like, "April Fools." Oh, well, that's upsetting. You really kind of look stupid right now because you are retired. I don't care. It's like Barry Bonds. You remember how Barry Bonds retired? He didn't.
Yeah, he kept coming out.
You remember when they honored him at a San Francisco Giants game, and he comes up to the mic, and the last thing he said is like, "I'm not retired."
I think that was all he said.
Yeah, that was all,
he just came up to the mic.
"I'm not retired, by the way." It's like, yeah,
yes,
you are.
No one's gonna sign you.
Sometimes it's not up to you if you're retired.
Interesting fact. After he said that, only one team showed interest in him. That would be Billy Beane in the Oakland A's.
Really?
Yes.
I'm surprised he didn't sign there. I don't know. Well, then he'd have to be in the movie. And, he didn't want extra exposure. Because then they'd have to have a scene of, whoever's playing him injecting steroids into his own ass. So, and then it goes up from PG-13 to R. But, I mean, athletes, some of these older athletes, I hate it when athletes have a hard time getting old. Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson's still trying to come back.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Shaq was great. Who, by the way, his number is being retired by the Lakers next season. But anyway, Shaq was amazing. He realized at one point, this is it. Like, I've done it. I don't have anything left.
After a couple of subpar years.
Yeah, I mean, he really had to. You really think about it. He was still balling and everything. He was still being Shaq when he was the big Shaqtus over in Arizona, and he comes to the Cavs, and that was really built up as what would have been his final year. I think had the Cavs gone to or won the championship.
It would have been.
And that year is where he got hurt. And that year, I think, was the year he kind of realized, like, I'm basically at the end, but I'd love to give it one more shot on a winner.
He wasn't, even when he did play for the Cavs, he wasn't playing a lot of minutes.
No.
He would start, but wasn't playing a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
And then when he did get hurt that year, and even when he came back, was very limited in what he could do. And then goes to the Celtics the next year, and we all saw what happened there.
I feel like he realized in Cleveland, though, like, I'm at the end, but I'd love to give it one last shot if it doesn't come this year, and it didn't. So he went on a team that he really felt like could win a championship, and unfortunately didn't happen. And then he just hung it up. He wasn't Brett Favre. He didn't go ring chasing wherever he could. Mm-hmm. He realized he went to a contender for just one last year. It's like, let's just see what I can do. Like Karl Malone. Karl Malone played almost his entire career with the Jazz, but people forget he played his last year with the Lakers. And he was about 40, 42, so it was pointless anyways. But he knew he's like, the Lakers are a better team than the Jazz right now. I just want to give it one shot. Just one final shot. It's like Zdrunas Ilgauskas did that too. Played his whole career in Cleveland, went to Miami in his last year. So I just want to give it one more try. And then those athletes are the best because once they give it that one more try, they're like, nope, can't do it.
Didn't work.
Didn't work. I'm going home. Good night, everybody. But then you get like the Allen Iversons and stuff that just won't stop.
And we got, bring it all circle, got Randy Moss doing it right.
We got Randy Moss.
So that's what's urinating me off.
Yeah, well, what's urinating me off, and I'll make this real quick because I do want to get to something before we leave, is our first super conference in college sports happened today. Did anyone even know? No.
No, I didn't know.
No, right? And I'll tell you why. Last year, Conference USA and the Mountain West Conference got an idea. Neither one is good at all, as you can tell just by saying their names and not having any school come to mind. But
you're 100% correct there.
Yeah.
I can't think of a single school that's in either one.
I mean, I can think of two that immediately come to mind that are both leaving. Is Boise State and TCU. TCU go to the Big 12. Boise State in Idaho going to the Big East in Idaho. Whatever. That's already urinating me off enough.
Well, they do like potatoes in Boston, though.
I bet they do. But anyways, all right. So they got this idea. Okay, we will have the winner of the Mountain West play against the winner of Conference USA, and the winner of that game should get a BCS bid, right? Well, not even close. Because why would you have two sucky teams play each other to find out the least sucky of the two, and then give them a Rose Bowl or an Orange Bowl or Sugar Bowl or something?
Yeah, with probably a 7-4 record.
Yeah, no way. The Big East is gonna lose their automatic qualifying anyways. After the season before this past one, when they had Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl against an unranked UConn, and playing in a BCS Bowl. I mean, come on. But anyways, so they decided, that we're scrapping that idea. Forget that. Forget the whole champions playing each other. We'll merge and become the first super conference. It's not named yet, but here's who it consists of. The new league, which I said is not named yet, is expected to consist of Southern Miss, Marshall, East Carolina, University, Alabama, Birmingham, Tulsa, Rice, UTEP, and Tulane. Oh, and also, Wyoming Air Force, Colorado State, UNLV, New Mexico, Fresno State, Nevada, and Hawaii.
Is there any more?
No.
Keep them rolling, because I stopped carrying after the first two.
You lost me at East Carolina. And that was the third one.
I don't remember that state.
That's why I trailed off. What's going on? I was like, do I have to finish this? And now they're the super conference. We always hear about the super conferences, and now we finally thought with Texas A&M going to the SEC, where like the SEC is going to go from 12 to 14. Why not take the last jump to 16? Oh my God, it's happening. And then it didn't, and now it's like, oh, so this is a super conference? That's a little disappointing. I don't even know what they're going to call it, the Mountain USA or Conference Mountain. I like Conference Mountain. Conference Mountain sounds nice. But no, it's just urinating me off that this is our super conference. This is what we finally get when this is supposed to be the new format of everything. And it's a little upsetting if when everything's in super conferences, there's going to be one like this. And it's just a shame that you can't just kick some of these schools out and say, go play D2. But I don't know. Good luck to Wyoming. East Carolina.
Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii. Hawaii's just joining in football, though. Don't get them wrong. Their gymnastics team would not be seen dead there. They're still in the WAC. I don't know. Yeah, there's some conferences that we could just do away with, and I think people will be all right. I say even take the little ones and put them in big ones. I mean, I don't care about East Carolina, but if East Carolina, first of all, if they're playing in the Big East, it makes sense. But I mean, if they're playing in a Big Ten, yeah, they're going to lose. But at least they're losing to people that are going to get them a lot of money. Ohio State, Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana.
Yeah,
not that the conference wants them. Yeah. But anyways, we're going to do something real quick before we get to the end of the show here. This is the first, every week now, we're going to share at least 5, 10 picks, whatever, of a mock draft from different sources around the internet. Every week until the draft, and our first show before the draft, we're going to share my personal mock draft of the full first round. So we're all going to be building up to that. And today...
Maybe I'll make one up.
Yeah, all right, man. We'll all do a mock draft. It'll be fun.
Mine would contain about 5 picks.
And then some baseball players. Anyways, real quick, this is... I'm not going to share all of them here because we're running a long time, but this is from sportingnews.com, which I believe is owned by AOL. I think it's aol.sportingnews.com. But anyways, it's a good mock draft. I'm gonna take issue with the Browns' second pick, though. Here we go. Number one, what you're going to see is one consistent in all of the mock drafts, including my own, that number one, the Indianapolis Colts will select Andrew Luck. All right, so Andrew Luck goes to the Colts, number one. There. That's a lock. It's only a matter of time before they start negotiating on a deal with him.
Yeah, even before they draft him.
Exactly. St. Louis Rams take Justin Blackmon, wide receiver at Oklahoma State. Minnesota Vikings, Matt Kalil, offensive tackle out of USC. Cleveland Browns, here's the big pick. They think they fall to him here. Robert Griffin III, quarterback from Baylor.
So according to the Sporting News, the Vikings will not be taking Griffin.
No. Well, a lot of belief is that someone's going to have to trade up till that to that 2 or 3. If not, he's going to fall to Cleveland. Now, I like RG3. I want RG3. I just want to make it clear I'm not comfortable with trading our 2 first-rounders for him. I think this team has more to worry about than just a quarterback.
Yeah.
I think they need to do whatever they can to get RG3, but keep these 2 picks.
Yeah, I say if he's there, I wouldn't argue the pick if he's available at number 4, but trading up, we'd be losing too much.
Exactly. And this is a team that needs things, not to trade up. All right, well, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Morris Claiborne, cornerback, LSU. Washington Redskins, Alameda Ta'amanu, nose tackle from Washington. Jacksonville Jags, Michael Floyd, wide receiver, Notre Dame. Carolina Panthers, Michael Brockers, defensive tackle, LSU. Miami Dolphins, Jonathan Martin, offensive tackle, Stanford. And at number 10, Quentin Couples, defensive end, North Carolina, to the Buffalo Bills. And now I'm going to jump right on down to pick number 22, the other important pick. Cleveland Browns, this is where I have an issue. Kobe Fleener, tight end, Stanford. All right, the Browns need weapons. We know that. But if there's any place that they have depth, it's tight end.
Yeah.
They have 4 tight ends right now, and 3 of them could start right now.
Yeah, Benjamin Watson, Evan Moore, and the other guy.
Jordan Cameron they got last year, who's Blake Griffin's friend. So there you go.
Good pass.
And then even Alex Smith, a veteran who knows the West Coast offense, who actually had some pretty decent catches this year. But anyway, so that's from sportingnews.com. I didn't highlight the whole thing, obviously, but I got to the important picks. All right, now real quick, we're heading out the door here. So 3 up, 3 down for this week. We've got down number 3, Carmelo Anthony. Knicks playing their best basketball without him.
And the Knicks fans couldn't be happier.
Exactly. Down number 2, Ohio State men's basketball. Lost to Michigan State at home this weekend, ending their 39-game home winning streak. Ouch.
Do you see a national championship for them this year?
I think it's possible, but I also think it's really hard with no one to be able to shoot the 3 on a consistent basis. But I do think this is a team built for the tournament, not for the regular season. Down number 1, Anderson Varejao, snubbed as an all-star and broken wrist, out indefinitely. We're looking at about 6 weeks there. Up number 3, Phil Mickelson. Beat out Tiger Woods, Tony Romo, and Aaron Rodgers for the win at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Just thought I'd include those other 2. Bill Belichick was someone's caddy, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, he was. Up number 2,
Where's
Shaquille O'Neal.
O.J. Simpson when you need him?
He couldn't make it. Up number 2, Shaquille O'Neal. Number 34 to be retired by the Lakers next season. Finally, good to see a little bit of, positive vibes there.
Do you see his number getting retired anywhere else? Perhaps the Orlando Magic, where he started out, number 32?
Maybe, but I really feel like they're still not happy about him leaving.
And they're probably not.
And they're worried that Dwight Howard's going to do the exact same thing and ditch him to be a Laker. But who knows? And up number 1, Knicks point guard Jeremy Lin.
Oh, he's got to be number 1.
Led Knicks to 5 straight W's. Linsanity is alive and well, people. And hopefully it continues. So
yeah, we hope so here.
Yeah, exactly.
We need something to talk about.
Something to talk about in the offseason.
For the next 50 days until the Indians' home opener.
They're playing Toronto, right?
Toronto Blue Jays.
All right. Can't wait till pitchers and catchers report when?
In less than a week.
Less than a week. So we're probably going to be doing a little bit of Indians preview next week. That'll be fun.
Indians news just happened today. Pending a physical.
Yes.
Tribe will be signing right-handed starting pitcher John Garland, formerly of the Chicago White Sox, to a minor league deal.
I'm excited about that one.
Yeah.
Invitation to spring training too, right?
Yes.
All right. A lot of guys we'll see in spring training. Here, a lot of big name people that they made.
That got me a lot more excited than Kevin Slowey did.
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for us. Remember, right after here, that special Valentine's Day, everything in between, all in poems, right?
Yes.
Real romantic / depressing little show this week.
Yeah, we got the sad songs that make you want to blow your brains out, and the poems that are awesome.
That sounds like
that's the best. There are no words to describe it, as I posted earlier on the Facebook page.
All right, well, of course, next week we will be back same time, same place with another mock draft and probably a Linsanity update. And, of course, a little bit of an Indians preview. So that's going to do it for us. So for Chris, for Von Erich, I am Ralphie saying good night, everybody. We will see you next week, same time, same place. Thanks for listening to High on Sports on MorningShowCentral.com.